doing? Happy Tuesday. Should be Tuesday. Point. It's definitely Tuesday at this point. I just want to talk some piece. I said I had theories for you guys. I want to do like a long segment, but we're gonna at least lay the groundwork for you guys. As we all know, in the last chapter, which was fantastic, by the way, Elbath has been, I want to say, going as one of the greatest arcs we've ever had. That's how I personally feel. What up, dead man? How are you doing, brother? I wanted to go over some of the theories, based even like the ones that we talked about thus far. But let's spend some time on it. Let's spend some time on it, man. You were there for that stream, so you know them. But I'm interested in seeing if you've come up with anything else, as well, or see what the community has come up with. So first and foremost. First and foremost, it's a top three. I need to get water because I'm dying out here. Elbath, I have as like a top three arc for sure. Wano is my favorite. Elbath and shit. Either Marine Ford or Sky Pier. Uh, all right. Well, I'm interested. I'm interested in hearing like your favorite one. Let me know your favorite one. So let's. I'm gonna start with my number one. My number one is, so obviously we've seen Emu cough up blood once he actually arrived on Elbath. A lot of speculation as to why that happened. A lot of the theories I'm hearing didn't really resonate with me from, I don't even know. They just didn't really resonate. I'm like, to me, if he had some part in the creation of devil fruits, as I'm guessing he does, devil fruit users can't go into water. Emu, which also translates to ocean, I believe it is. I'm thinking that Emu is killed by being on the physical land. That's why the Holy Land is so above ground or high water, right? Hmm. um it's interesting to think because Emu, I'm trying to get the timeline right, because in my understanding, I guess this is technically another theory. I think the Emu that we saw in the previous chapter, 1170, yeah, 79, 1179. That Emu is essentially possessed again in some regard. There is Nerona Emu, who is the actual individual, but the emu is possessed by some other form of demon. And there's kind of like, I don't have it specifically here, but this kind of just ties into the next other theory, where it's like someone was saying that emu has Nika's body. Someone was saying that emu has Nika's body. So I think there's like my other theory I couldn't remember. Mm. um with emu having Nika's body, it made sense to me, or what I thought was, is that the body that we see in front of us is actually Nika's body. Emu used the Emu actually was in possession of Law's devil fruit, and then used the immortality on, I'm not sure if it's Emu spirit or Nika's body. It makes sense. So I'm thinking that, like, if he used immortality on Nika's body, he was able to sorry, he used immortality on Nika's body and use Law's ability to like transfer his spirit, basically his heart, his consciousness into Nika's body, right? Like you can do all that with Law's devil fruit. If Emu gave Nika if Emu gave Nika's body immortality and then transferred his own consciousness into Nika's body, then that to me is a logical explanation um, as to what happened. So that's not even Joy Boy that we have in front of us. That is actually Nika that we have in front of us. So in chat excuse me, guys. In chapter 1167, it was revealed that Emu can only have 13 Covenant Deep Abyss marks. And if we look at Emu design, he has 13 eyes. I count 13. I know I saw 11, so it makes sense. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 13. But 16 is also a special numbers in One Piece. 16 the 16 rays that Dofi used, and a couple other things. So it might be 16, but we haven't seen them all. If we include the ones on his face, it would amount to Emu 13. That would equal. So it was 11. I did see 11, and the two of his own would make 13. Interesting. But I'm gonna guess that there's three more that we just can't see at this moment. Is the amount of covenant he can give or people with covenant right now? What if Emu is a literal devil fruit and someone put Emu devil fruit in Nika's corpse? Hmm. If Emu is a devil fruit that came to life and someone put Emu's devil fruit. Ah, interesting. Devil's fruit. Devil's fruit. Devil's fruit. Devil's fruit. So emu. So is that like saying that like the fruit itself is is a devil, or like emu is a devil and sorry the because his power is devils or is it devil fruit or devil's fruit? I forget the viz. One Piece 11. Let's check out the viz. Let's check out the viz to confirm. One Piece 1179 viz. Because I did read the viz, but I forget. Because that would be interesting. I kind of like that. Kind of like that. Let's pull it up here. Let's pull it up here. I'm all for it. 179. Come on, viz. All right, let's go to the end. Where is it? Come on. Fairy tales. Boy. It's loading still. Literally devil fruit, and someone put emu devil fruit in Nika's corpse. That would be interesting. Yeah, like emu is a devil, which is why he prefers to Luffy and Loki. You've heard the name of the devil fruit, which is Nika and Nita Hog. That'd be fascinating. So like if all the devil fruits, or at least okay, that's a way to think about it, right? Because okay, Needhog was an actual being. Nika was an actual being. Devil's fruit was an actual being. But if that devil's fruit had a different name, and like perhaps that name was, I don't think it was emu. But what if it's not it has its actual name. So the name it's devil. Let me pull this picture. Come on. Hurry up. It's taking for so long. There you go. There you go. This thing is not swiping, bro. Or do I go this way? Yo, you tripping right now. There we go. Okay, power, the devil's fruit. The power that he possesses is the devil's fruit. The devil's fruit. The power that he possesses is titled the devil's fruit. Devil's fruit. The devil's fruit. And now you're saying and put Emu's devil fruit in Nika's corpse. I'm not opposed to this body actually being Nika's, right? Like having all the different races attached to it. Like is why he refers to Luffy and so like Luffy is so Nika was an individual. Let's put it this way: before Joy Boy's time in the first world or whatever, you had Nika, Needhog, and the thing that's possessing Emu, whoever is in front of us right now, which we want to say is, which has the power of devil's fruit. So, okay, think of this Saint Nerona, Emu. Think of Saint Nerona, Emu as Joy Boy. And when I say think of him as Joy Boy, I mean that like he's not the original. At the original you have Nika and the devil. You have Joy Boy and Saint Nerona Emu. So it's like and then every generation there's a new version of them. That's what it's seeming like. And it's crazy. I'm trying to figure out what the Davy Jones has to do with this. Because Davy Jones I'm not sure if some came in around Joy Boy's time or Davy Jones is something that was like prior to that, which would be fascinating. All right, let's keep on going. So, my theory number two. Theory number two. So, Sun God Nika was actually Sun Goddess Nika. So, where we see Bonnie's transformation as she becomes Nika, the sun god. That's the original form. And my thought to that was I see it being, a love story again. So Emu was the devil. Nika was the god, and so goddess, and they had a relationship together. That's why when things came about the second time around, you had Joy Boy and you had Nefertari. Yeah, yeah, like Emu is a devil, which oh no, yeah, what do you think Emu laugh would be? I guess it's gonna be moo. Don't kill me. Um, I don't know if we're gonna get lucky enough to see a laugh. I never thought of it. That's a fact. That's a fact. Well, the theory I was hearing is that she didn't get rejected. It's that Emu and Nefertari actually were in a relationship together. They were together, but then Nefertari l- learned of Emu's plans, and the idea was to, and but she was pregnant at the time. Emu didn't know that she was pregnant at the time, and then from there, um, sided with Joy Boy, but didn't sided with Joy Boy, but didn't like agree to kill Emu. Basically, it's like Emu I feel like Emu might have been spared in some regard. Like Nefertari might have said, "Don't kill him" to Joy Boy, or and like think about it, like if if Emu or this is Joy Boy's body, not Nika's body, Joy Boy's body, and I'm saying the baby is a ancestor to Buggy. The ancestor, the child that they had might have been the ancestor to Buggy. So that makes Buggy a D. That makes Buggy royalty. So it's kind of like him, how he's slowly coming up in the ranks. It's technically like his birthright in some regards, right? And it's like it can make sense. It makes sense from that angle that like if you didn't know what Buggy's origin is, which we also still don't know, and I obviously it's for a purpose. Um, Buggy's the closest person to like ending Luffy time skipped, in some regards. Um, so it makes sense. Like Potenheim, how you doing? We're talking One Piece right now. So nah, it makes a lot of sense, or a slash is very possible. In my country, lots of people are making funny meme about Emu being depressed and not being able to move on with the man who can't be moved by scratch in the background. It sucks that this meme is only popular here. Don't kill me. Send it to me. Um, yeah, no, I'm thinking that so I think that Sun God Nika was a woman. I think Nika was a woman, and it's a love story, and that love story continued, and so it's sun goddess Nika, and Emu was the devil, right? That's what I'm hypothesizing. Also, if you listen to Bink Sake, um no, my next theory is actually closer to that one. My next theory is closer to that one. So we'll jump to number three. We'll jump to number three. If you guys are a One Piece fan, let me know what your all theories are in the chat. Shout out to the chat. Thank you to anybody who has subscribed, anyone that is currently subscribed. We rock with it. So again, first theory was Emu is killed by water. Or sorry, he is killed by land the way that devil fruit users are killed by water. So he can't go on land, but he has an immortal body. So it's it just like kills his insides, right? Emu has actually sun god, and then secondly, sun god Nika was actually sun goddess Nika. So Nika was actually a woman, um, who actually gave birth to Joy Boy at some point. Yes, to you too, Potenheim. Hope you had a great day. It is 7:25 right now. We're talking One Piece currently. As I mentioned yesterday, we're gonna go through some theories. You know. So number three, the mural. So in the mural, there's a line in I think it's the first world that says they never meet. So is I believe that saying is Nika. They're referring to Nika and Emu. So the sun and the moon. I like that theory about Nika being a woman and gave birth to Joy Boy. I think so, or at least the lineage. I believe at least the lineage. So the mural the mural says they will never meet, and I believe that's Nika and Emu. So the sun and the moon. So like obviously there's a correlation. We know One Piece is super huge on sun god Nika, but also the moon. So it's stating that they will literally never meet. And so I think that's more than just like sun god Nika and the devil, in that regards, is that the sun and moon will never meet. And the only time the sun and moon actually meet in real life is an eclipse. And shout out to Dead Man for pointing this out, because Zebek's sword is actually called the Eclipse. Or so, his name, the sword's name is actually called Eclipse, which just blows my mind right there, right? Um, Emu was a devil, a man. He wanted to keep the sun. That's why they have the mother flame. He wanted to keep the sun goddess Nika, for himself. So Nico is like a VV descendant. VV, I'm gonna guess, is related to Buggy, technically in some regard. So usually in an eclipse it's the moon that's blocking the sun, right? So the covering they're going to cover the world in darkness, which the devil would like, of course. um is basically an eclipse. His moon is literally hogging the sun. So so again, I think a huge a part of it is the eclipse, and that might also be like the One Piece, right? Where it's something along the lines of Roger didn't make it in time for the eclipse. The eclipse couldn't take place at that time because the sun and the moon were not there. And something to further go towards the theory of the eclipse has to do with when you see Luffy go year 5 for the first time, he jumps over the moon. So he jumps through the moon, and there's a sudden blast of there's a certain flash of light, and it looks exactly like an eclipse, which is insane when you correlate those two. And like, I don't know if it's just me. Shout out to Dead Man for rocking with these theories as well, but it just correlates so perfectly that that an eclipse. We just find out what Zebek's sword is. Eclipse. Sun god Nika jumps in front of the moon, eclipse. They will never meet. Eclipse. Like it sits perfectly for me. It works perfectly for me personally. Um the next one, Joy Boy is maybe Nika's son. So, people always refer to their children as like a bundle of joy, the joy of my life, things along those lines. So I'm guessing the mother potentially gave Joy Boy that name. I don't I think that might have actually been, or maybe Joy Boy's name is Joy. You know what I mean? Something like that. I think I think it's a lineage thing. I think it's genuinely like a lineage thing in this case. I want to say Luffy's not necessarily in that lineage, but I do think that at least and and Nika and Joy Boy are in that lineage. Sorry, guys. Dead Man just sent me that meme he was talking about. We gonna check it out. Let's see what it is. Jeez. Oh, I saw that one. I saw that one. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Hey, man, it can turn the nicest. All it takes is one bad day. It could make the most nicest person an evil person for facts. What's this? So now I'm watching another meme that you happen to have. What are these? It looks like bodies. Shoot, his wings kind of do look like they have bodies. I can see that, dead man. I can kind of see the levitating body part. I kind of see, but honestly, it actually does look like 2 feet are kind of hanging. I still kind of want to believe it's wings. There's so much. There's a lot of, man. No two theories are alike when it comes to One Piece. But the crazy thing is that like so many of us are wrong. So many of us are wrong, and I love it. I think it's something amazing that Oda does to keep things original. You know, um, I think it's something that Oda does to keep things original, and it's mind blowing that I think I'm close though. I think the idea of the eclipse works too perfectly. We have, we have, we have. That's a fact. That's a fact. It's a devil thing. It's a devil thing. All right, I got what is it? Maybe one more theory, two more theories. Um, one more. I think so. It has to do with his look. Emu has the same nose as Mihawk. It's funny as I watch more videos, people are saying like, "Oh, it looks like this. It looks like that. It looks like this. It looks like that," and it's actually true. You okay, my love? So it's only I'm seeing like he definitely has Mihawk's nose. What was shocking to me was a lot of people are associating it with Robin. Like Robin has the same eyes as Emu. I don't think necessarily. I don't really want to. I don't think so. I don't believe they have the same eyes, but I do think um they have. I want to say they have the same eyes. I can't say that. I can't say they have the same eyes. They don't. Their eyes ain't eyeing like that. But it's interesting correlation. The devil's fruit, devil child, and there's someone else. I forget who it is. I think Mihawk is like the eyes of the devil or something like that. And even when Zoro says that like when he sees S Hawk, even you're more human than him, or something like that. It looks like you have more humanity than him, which is very interesting. Which is very interesting. I always thought that Mihawk potentially was like a vessel for Emu. That's how I interpreted it. But it might simply just be along the lines of that they're the same bloodline, um, or Olivia was taken by Emu, had a child with Emu, and that happens to be Robin. Like One Piece is cooking. I also see talking about how Emu, Mihawk, Robin are all yep, birds, yep, the devil's son, and then Robin is devil's child. Yep. 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 There's a correlation there too, and I love that. Man, I don't have to say it. I don't even have to say it because I feel like every time I talk about One Piece, I'm like defending it on how fantastic it is, on how amazing it is, and I don't really have to. It's just very plain in sight. It's very plain. It's very noticeable. It's very obvious that One Piece is fantastic, and if you can't see it or you can't appreciate it, that's a you thing. That's a you thing because we're eating. We're eating. Oda is cooking, and we have been eating for years. I'm not caught up on any of the show stuff. I was planning on watching it like the last 2 days, but it didn't work out. I got other goals I'm trying to hit right now, but One Piece is anybody who hasn't read the manga and who's going to be seeing the animation or anime rather, y'all gonna love it. Y'all gonna love this arc. Yo, this arc is peak. This arc is gonna be peak. This arc is gonna be peak. And I can't wait. I can't wait one bit. I can't wait one bit. Mm. Then man, any more theories? I is B in M. I do not know what that means. Yeah, eating good. Not only did we get Emu reveal, but that same day when it came out, it was announced that the studio wit is coming. Yeah, there's like 6 announcements. Ma, you want to clean up the room, please? For now, that's all I can think about. Yeah, those are the ones that stood out. I'm be careful online and turn off all notifications. I'm sure they're going to be coming early this week. Turn off all notifications. Anybody, everybody, turn off your notifications to all forms of platforms. I hope nobody gets spoiled. I would not like to get spoiled myself. I gotta act. I gotta be conscious. I gotta be conscious. So I said it yesterday, but I really need to do it. I don't know it's coming out this week. I thought I saw one. I saw like a thing of Emu standing up. I saw like a thing of Emu standing up, but like a picture of Emu standing up, but I wasn't sure if that was a actual spoiler or like that's like concept. I hope, excuse me, I hope not either way. I don't know if we're getting a chapter. Yeah, like it's legit. If I'm I ain't trying to see it. I do not want to see it. I just me it was same day. That was the thing. It was like I'm gonna read the chapter in 5 minutes. No, you're not. And then boom, spoiler. and then stress. Stress. All right, we got 2 days. We got 2 days. So everybody, wrapping it up. Stay safe out there. Avoid the spoilers at all cost. Try and avoid the spoilers at all costs, guys. We do not need that in our lives. Let's stay safe out there, boys. Shout out, appreciate you, dead man. Love you all. Hope you guys had an amazing day. Hope you guys keep winning. Make all your dreams come true. Stay safe. It's your boy Straw Hat. May all your dreams come true. Love.